Yes, welcome back.
What's
Welcome
going
back.
on, AIM Squad?
AIM Squad. Let's go.
We are back after a Thursday night football of Week
Woo.
11.
What a game.
And, what we can say is just like the election,
Yeah,
Pennsylvania did go for Trump like we did.
they did, yeah.
And they
MAGA.
that's it. And they won. Philadelphia won
They did.
over Washington.
There we go.
So there it is. But let's get right back into it. So going into the record, Alnoor, you were 7-3.
Correct, yes.
I was 2-8. Thursdays just don't do me well. But Alnoor, you had called Washington plus 3.5.
Yeah,
Philly turned on the Jets with Saquon at the end there.
he just ran into the end zone. Could have kneeled down and it would have been okay, but
Nope.
hey.
I mean, it's Saquon. Come on
Yeah,
now.
he's not kneeling down. He's scoring a touchdown.
He's going for a career year here, and they covered. So luckily, I was able to hit the cover minus 3.5
Yep.
and then some.
And
So our new records going in, we're finishing up Thursday. Alnoor, you said at 7-4, still way above 500, so that's solid. I'm closing in at least to my 500 goal.
Yeah.
I'm 3-8. But how did our props do?
our props did really well. We had Saquon to score anytime.
Yeah.
This guy went and scored twice.
Jeez.
I forgot once. He went and scored twice. Was like, hey, listen, AIM Squad, we got you. I got you. Not only I'll give you one touchdown, I'll give you two.
That's it.
And he just went in there and just got it.
He did.
That hit, beautiful. We ate that. Like, it was amazing.
It was a solid Thursday night overall. I gotta say.
It was.
Like Saquon hit, which leads us to our parlay.
Yeah.
Which, as we mentioned earlier, was actually one of our legs.
Yeah.
So we did actually hit the Saquon anytime.
Yeah.
AJ Brown over 50 yards. He hit.
Easy.
That was easy. This big surprise was McLaurin, who had his season low.
Yeah.
This
of like everything. He's only targeted twice.
yeah.
Like as a wide receiver who gets targeted at least like 4 times a game, he's been averaging 6-3, 8, 6, 7, 8, 10, 6 targets a game. And you come on a Thursday with only 2 targets?
That's ridiculous. So what is that average? Maybe about 6 targets a game, 7 targets a
Give
game?
and take 4.5 targets a game? 5. Let's just say 5, give and take.
And he got averaged twice, half that. That's
Less than
ridiculous.
half.
Less than half that. So that was a big surprise, and obviously he wasn't able to convert.
He was short 40 yards.
Short 40 yards. It was tough because what seemed like a sure thing in our parlay
Yeah,
was the one that actually let us down.
exactly.
That was tough.
But, it usually happens here at AIM Squad. We pick something and we're like, yo, this is so good.
Which makes the most sense.
And just there's always a player that decides either gets injured,
Yeah.
doesn't show up, is not part of the game plan, and it affects us.
And McLaurin is one that is the game plan for
Yeah.
the Commanders. He
Like-
is the game plan.
Like, the offense goes through him
Through
aside
him.
from Daniels. Like, Daniels is throwing it to him. But, hey, we
Maybe-
took the L, took
Maybe
it to the chin.
Maybe that's why they didn't win. I don't know.
Maybe that's why. Maybe they didn't feed the McLaurin alive.
I
But,
don't
hey,
know. But that's it. I mean, hey,
that was Thursday.
that was Thursday.
That was Thursday.
But let's close out Thursday with the fantasy.
Well, I think this is our highest Thursday fantasy we've done.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Most def.
Let's go from the bottom up.
All right.
So our kicker Elliott,
Well, yeah, he missed a couple in the beginning.
he did. He was
but
looking scary.
He was looking scary. Like, I don't know what was going on with him. But, yeah, he got some Gatorade.
Yep.
Fueled himself up, went and started kicking some field goals, and he was good there.
And he was the best kicker between the two, which led to our defense. Eagles clamped down,
Oh, they clamped down.
and they hit on
Yeah.
that one for us as well. So we picked the better defense as well.
Yeah. And then we had Mr. Tight End, Zach Ertz, coming back, paying homage, coming back, paying visit to paying to Philly, be like, hey, listen, I'm part of Washington, but hey,
Yeah.
don't forget, I got you guys some touchdowns. I played for you guys. I was a fan favorite here.
Put some respect on my name.
Exactly. So that hit as well, too, which leads to a wide receiver.
And AJ Brown, we said he hit easy. I mean, we called it between all the wide receivers. He's going to see the most action, and he did. And then we had
Our running back, Mr. Saquon Barkley himself.
period. That's it.
Like, the 2 touchdowns, you already know that was the best. Like, he's one of the best running backs.
Yeah,
From the NFC, best running back.
100%.
As of right now.
100%. Which leads us to a little bit of a disappointment because Daniels was our only loss
Yeah.
on the fantasy.
He was.
Because Jalen Hurts did come back. Of course, he had the touchdown, sure.
Yeah.
And Daniels, with perhaps no touchdowns to McLaurin, probably was missing that gap. But unfortunately,
Hey.
was the only miss. But this is our highest at 5 out of 6 of
Yes.
all of our picks were successful.
There we go.
So-
Which now leads us to the main event, Sunday football.
That's it.
Sunday football is where it's at.
Yeah.
And not gonna lie to you, Irshad, I feel like this week is a really good week for us. There's something that inside of me, there's something that's just telling me that this Sunday is gonna be either a roller coaster or it's going to be a glide where it's just going to be fun, but it's up in the air. Let's just get into it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So, coming into this week.
Let's go.
Or
Tell
into
them.
Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Alnoor, you're 11-16-3.
Yeah.
I'm 14-13-3.
Yeah.
And our aim is, of course, to stay above 500.
Correct. I'm close there.
Hey, your Sunday is like my Thursday.
Exactly.
We're
So
on the upswing.
we're both there.
We're
Just-
both there. You know, but we have 3 very hot game of the weeks.
Whew.
We have one. We picked them strategically, kind of worked out because, like we like to do at AIM Sports, it is a divisional matchup. It is in the first window of it, first window of the games, and that is between rank 1 and rank 2, Baltimore. Visiting the Steelers.
Big divisional game. Mike
Huge
Tomlin,
division.
Hardball.
This is big.
Damn,
This is a big game. And right now, Baltimore is favored -3.
Uh-huh.
So let's get into it. Alnoor, what's your call on that? Why? Let them know.
So let's just get started. You got Baltimore, Pittsburgh. This is like primetime football, even though it's the first window. Everyone's been watching this game in Pittsburgh. You got Pittsburgh defense, which has always been amazing. Like from Ben Roethlisberger days, that Pittsburgh defense has been lethal. Now you go up against 2 MVP caliber players of Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. You guys are going against each other. This is going to be a head-butting football game. This is going to be a grind. This is going to be like a slugfest. They're going to go out, hit each other. And we know.
It's a rivalry, yeah.
Baltimore and Pittsburgh don't like each other. It's a rivalry, as you said, Irshad, too. They don't like each other. They're going to come out and they're just going to pound each other and, like, injure each other and be like, hey, listen, we own the division, not you guys. But before we get started there, let's get into Mr. Third Player.
Yep.
Because, here we love third players. They always play an influence into the game. We got Mr. Clay Martin. Mr. Clay Martin reffing this game. Now, let me get started with you, Irshad. Clay Martin doesn't like home teams.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you straight up right now. Home teams. Division home teams, out the window.
Yeah.
Like, not even close. Like, I'll just give you a stat, too. Home teams in Clay Martin are 47-44 on the money line. They're 37-52 and 2 against the spread. That's overall. You clamp it down to a smaller sample size and go division games. They're what? 13-15 on the money line, which means they either win or lose. Okay, sure, here and there. But the spread is where it's like, whoa, 9-19 against the spread when Clay Martin's officiating. 9-19 home teams are against the spread. That's a tough position to put a team in, especially with a division game like this, which has big implications on who is going to win the division. Me personally sitting here thinking about it, going in and out. Don't get me wrong, Pittsburgh is an amazing team. Let's not forget about Pittsburgh. But does Baltimore want to sit in a 4 or 5 seed? Do you want to sit in the 6 seed, the 7 seed? Because you got to win the division.
Well, yeah.
If you want to avoid KC in the divisional playoffs, you got to finish number 2 or at least number 3 because you want to face KC in the championship finals, the AFC championship finals. So this game is really big. 3 points, it's given us at Baltimore -3. To be honest with you, I think this game ends in 3 points.
Yeah.
Who wins? We're about to find out, but 3 points is a divisional game, like we even said last week too, right? On Thursday as well too. 3.5, it was for Philly.
Yeah.
And like I was saying too, right? 3.5 points is a lot. A divisional game should always be 3 points.
Yes.
And one team will take it, one team won't take it. Mike Tomlin loves playing Baltimore. He's on a hot streak. He's enjoying the spread. We know Lamar Jackson, he comes on, he wins. He doesn't really cover the spread a lot. But I think Baltimore is poised for this.
Think so.
I think so. I think Baltimore is so poised for this that they're coming in. And let's not forget, Pittsburgh plays back-to-back division games.
Yep.
They play tomorrow, Sunday against Baltimore.
Yep.
And then next week, they have a short week.
Yes.
They don't have a long week. They have a short week where they have to travel to Cleveland to play in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to sit here and tell me, they're going to beat Baltimore and they're going to go beat Cleveland, I don't see that happening. 2 divisional games back-to-back. And funny enough, this is Pittsburgh's first divisional game.
Oh, yes.
Pittsburgh has not played a divisional game all season.
Yep.
And we're in what, week 11? You're telling me a team has not played divisional games in 11 weeks and this is the first divisional game in 10 weeks? So, if that being said, Pittsburgh still has a chance. A loss here or a win here, regardless, and a loss or win next week against Cleveland is a hit or miss.
Yeah.
But they still have to play each division team twice. So they play Baltimore twice. So tomorrow and again later down the week, they'll play Cleveland next week and again later down the week.
Yep.
And then they also play Cincinnati twice as well too. So now, in the division, they play out of the next 7 weeks left. They're playing Baltimore twice, Cleveland twice, and Cincinnati twice. That's 6 games right there. You're playing divisional games, which leaves you with 1 game that is without the division. So every win is big for Pittsburgh. I just don't see it happening next week. And you know what's really funny? There's 2 games that they don't play out of division. And it's the Philadelphia Eagles that they have to face.
Yeah, which is a tough matchup in itself.
And let's not forget the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs they play.
Which is,
And that's on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So you have 2 games there that are out your division. Other than that, you're playing the division. You're playing Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Cleveland. Then you go play the Eagles. Then after the Eagles game, you go play the Ravens again, KC, and then you end the season off with the Bengals.
So this is arguably probably the easiest matchup they have, one of the easier ones.
I think next week's more easier than this week.
Think so?
Yeah, I'm talking Baltimore -3. Baltimore -3. There's a lot of offensive holding penalties.
Yep.
Claymore doesn't call a lot of penalties.
Yep.
And Pittsburgh, yes, let's not forget, Russell Wilson is undefeated as a starter with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But look at the teams he's played. He's played the Commanders. He's played the Jets. He's played, the Giants?
Yep.
And so those 3 teams are not the same caliber as the Baltimore Ravens.
Right.
Baltimore Ravens are coming in, and they're coming off, a short week, a long extended rest. They played last week, Thursday.
Yeah.
They've been at home chilling, watching film on Russell Wilson. I don't know what else to say. I like Baltimore -3 Irshad. You tell me what you like. You let me know what's going on.
As you were saying, I think it's important to note that, we have, Mr. Third Player, right?
Yeah.
Clay Martin. I think it's important to note that, yes, he's not a big fan of home teams.
Yeah.
I agree, especially divisional home teams. It's quite poor under his officiating. But, one of the things that's interesting is the amount of calls that he makes.
Yes.
Okay. His crew ranks number 1 for offensive holding penalties per game. And this is nearly a third of the penalties assessed whenever he's reffing the game. Now, Steelers and Ravens are both top 10 penalized offenses for offensive holding. Okay, so Ravens are 2nd penalized and Steelers are 9th penalized. Now, what this essentially means is this can go a long ways because when you have offensive hold, that's a 10-yarder, right? Right out of the bat.
Yeah.
But now what tends to happen is the Steelers' offense is, going to benefit from this. And the Ravens, number 1 penalized defense for roughing the passer through 10 weeks of the season, which means they don't like the home teams, but there's a level of offset that they'll do where, yes, they'll offset the offensive holding, but they're also going to be looking into the overly aggressive defense as well. And I think the Ravens defense, as we talked about, has that as a disadvantage. So I think it's going to be something to be, play against. But it doesn't just stop there. So how I look at it is this way. So you have Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh. It is a rivalry we talked about.
Yes.
These guys don't like each other.
At all.
Like they definitely hate each other. Mike Tomlin's record against John Harbaugh. Okay? So when Mike is a favorite, he's 6-12-1. So almost twice as likely to not cover the spread. But when he's a dog, which he is in this case, he is 12-2-2.
Yes.
So almost 6 times more likely to cover the spread. Now, Tomlin is 3-0 straight up and against the spread as an underdog this season. Okay? Now, I know you mentioned he has not played a divisional game.
Yes.
That changes the dynamic of the matchup, no doubt. But as an underdog in his career, he's 62-35-4. He is the most profitable coach against the spread in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Which is stupid good.
Stupid
good. Like, through and through. You put him as a dog, he's more inclined to win and cover.
Yes.
Right? Not necessarily win, but to cover. Okay? That being said, the matchups, these divisional rivalries that have played together since 2020, their matchup has been within
One score.
one score. I think I'm doing some quick math here. You're probably averaging maybe 5 points.
Yeah, give
right?
or take, yeah.
Give or take. That's the reality of it. This is going to be a close game. So like you said, -3 sounds about right. We could actually see a push here tomorrow, and -3, +3 could easily happen.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. But one of the things that we also have to see is Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
He is playing on extended rest, right? He did do Thursday Night Football prime time last week. So he has played 19 times on extended rest, where he is 14-5 straight up, sure, but he is 8-11 in those games. Okay, so he's less likely to actually cover the spread. But he is 6-11 when he's against the spread when listed as a favorite, which he is. So almost twice as likely not to cover the spread. But here's where things get interesting. When he faces a divisional opponent off of rest, which he is tomorrow, Jackson is 3-1 straight up. Sure, he'll win the game.
Yeah.
But he's 1-3 against the spread. And that includes an 0-1 straight up against the spread against who? The Steelers.
Yeah.
A home game
Yes.
in 2020. All right? So we got to look at it that way. But Harbaugh obviously is a notable coach as well. So we also got to look at his angle as well.
For sure.
Okay? So Harbaugh, point blank, it's a road game for him. He is 21-10 on the road, straight up. Against the spread, however, he does have a more promising record.
Yes.
He's 22-7. Okay? It's very, very solid. And the reality of it is on road games with extended rest, Harbaugh is 6-0 straight up and against the spread with Lamar Jackson playing and as his QB. So they almost cover the spread by nearly 2 touchdowns, which means that based on this tomorrow, they should win by about 17.
Correct.
Right? That being said, it is something that we have to look at, that Mike Tomlin's record as a division is still very, very relevant here.
For sure.
Right? Especially going head-to-head against John Harbaugh. Right? 12-2-2, that's amazing.
Yes.
Okay? That is amazing. So, all to say, I think what we're going to see tomorrow is, like you said, a slugfest. It's going to be very important. I think you're going to see Baltimore and Pittsburgh both trying to figure each other out.
Because who makes the first mistake?
Who does, right? I mean, you have Mike Tomlin, you have John Harbaugh. They're going to be playing. They have each other's number. It's a divisional matchup. This isn't like a one-and-done cross-conference, cross-division. They're going to see each other often. How can they figure themselves out? This is going to be an elite game of chess tomorrow.
Yes.
And I personally think that Tomlin's going to see this one through. He has the home advantage.
Yeah.
So I don't disagree with the spread of 3. I maybe disagree where the plus-minus is swaying. I think it's going to be Pittsburgh +3.
Ooh, okay.
I think it's going to be a close game for sure. As we can expect. I think Harbaugh's going to come out and bring the mental finesse. But we have Jackson, who has lost against the Steelers. You have Mike Tomlin, who also does that. I think John Harbaugh's schedule and skill will only be determined by his team tomorrow. And yes, Derrick Henry's played some amazing football, but I just don't think that it's going to happen. A push could still happen.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they're going to win. So I'm calling Pittsburgh +3.
All right, let's go. I like that. So first game already out the window. First window, we're against each other. Before we head to the next game, X Factor, Deontay Johnson. Just throw it out there, Deontay Johnson, X Factor. Like, he's coming back to Pittsburgh where he played with Tomlin. Tomlin let him go, but he don't want to be there. Went to Carolina, did his thing. The Ravens went, traded for him, and he hasn't been a presence for them.
No.
But had they been saving him for this game? We don't know.
Yeah.
It could be. It's a possibility.
Could be.
X Factor, Deontay Johnson. Which Russell Wilson we get? We don't know.
We don't know yet.
Which Lamar Jackson we get? We don't know.
Yep.
What Baltimore-Pittsburgh defense are we getting? We don't know yet.
Yep.
So this is going to be a fun game to watch. First window. I'm riding with Baltimore -3. My brother Irshad, you're going Pittsburgh +3.
Yeah.
For both of our sakes, I'm hoping for a push here.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Just so there's no win or loss. It's a push, it's a tie. I'll take it. But let's get in the second game.
The second game is a good game.
Oh, this is gonna be woo.
This is going to be in the second window of games.
Woo.
It is going to be a 1v1.
Like this.
It is going to be the great Patrick Mahomes
Yes.
coming up to Bills Mafia territory.
Undefeated Patrick Mahomes.
Undefeated Patrick Mahomes. And Buffalo is favored
Yeah.
by -1.5.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an interesting game. Alnoor, you want to take it over? You want me to do it?
I think you should start this one. You're feeling really good about this. I feel the
So-
emphasis in you. You tell them.
So this game is interesting because we all know here at AIM Sports, I have learned my lesson the hard way. I do not bet against Patty Mahomes. I do not. Okay? So I'll come out and simply say KC plus 1.5.
All right.
Okay? But there's a couple of reasons. So before we talk about the two teams, we got to look at Mr. Third Player himself.
Yes, correct.
All right? So tomorrow we have Lan Clark reffing the game. All right?
Mr. Clark.
Mr. Clark. So now let's get this going. Home teams,
Yeah.
point blank. In his career, only 40% of the time cover
Like
the
yeah.
it's so bad. Cover the spread. All right? 28, 42, and 2. But this is where things get a little interesting. So the Chiefs are 4-0
Yes.
all time when Clark is reffing their games, including 3-0 on the road. They were 2-0 on the money line and against the spread with Clark last year with both games on the road. Granted, it's just 2 games,
Yeah.
right?
Small sample size,
Small
but like-
sample size. But it is noting, okay? Obviously, they're going into the game tomorrow as an underdog, okay? So it's going to be
Makes absolute no sense.
which makes no sense to me, okay? Patty Mahomes is 4-3 against the spread versus Allen. So they definitely have each other's number, for sure. That being said, Mahomes is 11-3 straight up as
Yeah.
a dog. He's 12-1-1 against the spread.
Tell him again. What is he?
Mahomes is 12-1-1 against the spread. Okay? As an underdog. Are you kidding me right
And then
now?
the referee don't like home teams
This works in their benefit across the board.
all across the board.
Okay? Now, of course, could it be too blatantly obvious? Maybe.
Yeah.
Right? It 100% could be. But here, to be completely fair, Mahomes is only against the spread loss as an underdog came
Against Buffalo.
against Buffalo.
Yeah.
Okay? So it does bring back certain, PTSD, I'm sure, for
Yeah.
Mahomes.
For sure.
Okay? But let's look at Mahomes' career. He is 26-8-1 in his career as a favorite of 3 or fewer points or an underdog. So he's almost 3 times as likely to cover the spread tomorrow. Now, the reality of it is, in the scope of -1.5, yes, you have the 1 point, sure, but it could actually relate to a KC win tomorrow, right?
Correct.
Given how small the spread is. The reality of it is that Mahomes has been playing some amazing football. He has been. And they just simply can't go behind early. They do, and that's where things get a bit problematic.
Like a little sticky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? The reality of it is you also have a stellar quarterback on the opposite end, right? You have Josh Allen. Now, as a home favorite of 3 or fewer points, Josh Allen is 7-3 against the spread. So also a very stellar record. Now, since 2020, he's been 7-3 and he covers the spread by nearly 10 points, which means that tomorrow, based on that logic, they should cover by 11 points.
Correct.
Right? However, in his career, Allen is 8-2 against the spread facing an undefeated team. So not only is he 4 times as likely to cover the spread,
He's break the streak.
he's the one who breaks the streak, right? Especially when he's at home against the spread. Allen is 4-0 against the spread. So, why am I taking KC?
Why? Tell him. Why are you telling Casey? Why? What's up with Casey?
Look, Mahomes is magic right now. They want that three-peat.
Yeah. Andy
Andy Reid is firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Mahomes is firing on all cylinders. Kelsey has that Swiftie effect.
Yeah.
And I think the reality of it is you have the referees also favoriting the away team.
Yep.
And we also got to keep in mind, are the games rigged? Look, and I'll kind of come off a bit of a tangent here.
Yeah.
Are the games rigged? No, I don't think the games are rigged. but I do think that the referees have a bit of an agenda on who they want to see,
Of course.
right? Who they want to see. And I think, as we saw in the games prior to, the fact that Mahomes was caught on a hot mic, telling the refs, whether it was playful or not, the games before, we saw some questionable calls that were called for KC's favor.
For sure.
I think Mahomes is the franchise quarterback of not only KC, but of the NFL.
Of course.
They're going to hold it down. They're going to protect their asset.
Yeah.
And I think tomorrow's going to be one of those days. It's going to be a choice between Josh Allen or Patty Mahomes. I think NFL wants Patty Mahomes.
Yes, they do.
And I think tomorrow the referee is going to be slightly biased towards Patty Mahomes again to continue that streak alive.
All right.
So I'm going KC plus 1.5.
All right.
Alder, what do you think?
You listen. You said a lot of good points. You were straight up. You said everything the way it's supposed to be. I'm feeling the same thing as you. I like everything you said. I'm just gonna add to something that y'all said too. KC's 9-0. Buffalo's 8-2. If Buffalo does somehow win this game, which Josh Allen likes to beat undefeated teams, it's more so. If they win, they're 9-2, where KC goes 9-1. That means Buffalo is one game away of earning the tiebreaker because they beat KC to finish first in the AFC.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening. Like you said too, Patty Mahomes is the face of the NFL.
Yeah.
He is gonna finish first.
Yep.
They don't want him to finish second. They don't want to finish later. They don't want none of that. And another thing too is if somehow Buffalo ends up winning this game, it's gonna be problems for them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because KC remembers when they lost to a certain team, they'll come back and they come up for revenge. They come up for vengeance. So you beat them in the regular season, sure, okay, that's fine, no problem. Come playoff times where it matters, we're gonna put you in a stranglehold and we're gonna beat you down and be like, hey, remember the time you beat us in the regular season to be, when we were undefeated? We're coming back for you.
Yep.
But this KC team is different, and this KC team is poised for Super Bowl. They're poised for the dance, the finals, the rain showers, the Gatorade shower, everything. I'm going to keep it short, simple. That's all I'm going to tell you. I'm taking KC plus 1.5. You can't bet against Patty Mahomes.
No.
Like, absolutely not bet against Patty Mahomes. And you're giving me 1.5 points against a team that's undefeated? Yeah, sure, they could lose by 1. By all means, we cover the spread.
Yeah, we do.
And Patty Mahomes is a guy that loves cover the spread.
Yeah.
He will come out and pull something out of his magic hat. He'll put out a trick. Yeah, Patty Mahomes plus 1.5. Like, it's straight up. I think they're having an undefeated season. I don't think they take a loss. This is the only threat that they have, I believe, in their schedule. Because, listen, after Buffalo, they go play Carolina next week.
Yeah.
That's another win. They play Vegas, another win.
Yeah.
Chargers, division game, sure. Maybe, but it depends on where the Chargers stand. Sure, that's a maybe. The week after that, you play week 15, Cleveland. You're beating them.
Yeah.
Texans, sure, depending on where they are. If the Texans are leading their division, that game means nothing to them because they're not going to get injured.
Yeah.
They win the division.
Yeah.
Christmas Day, you play the Steelers. Sure, you're playing the Steelers in Pittsburgh. It's cold. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, if anything. Then you go play the Broncos. Out of all those games, I see Steelers, Texans where they are, and Buffalo as a threat.
Yeah.
But Buffalo is the biggest threat out of all the teams that they played. I think Casey's coming out to prove a point. Say, hey, listen, we're going to be undefeated. We're going to do what Tom Brady was supposed to do when they played the Giants. Undefeated team, go win the Super Bowl. Eli Manning was kryptonite. Patrick Mahomes is like, I can one-up Tom Brady. He's going to go in. Undefeated, Super Bowl. They're going to have some fun.
And you know what? I'll add one more thing because you mentioned the Broncos at the end. I think Casey has a thing to prove tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is they got arguably lucky by blocking that field goal.
Yeah.
They're going to come and be like, listen, that wasn't luck. We're good at what we do. They're gonna come out for blood tomorrow.
Exactly.
So KC plus 1.5. Alnoor and I both riding together on that one.
Finally, a game we ride together.
That's it. Hey, it has to be Patty Mahomes to bring us back. Now, our last game is Monday night primetime.
Yep.
You have Houston Texans visiting the very injured Dallas Cowboys.
America's team.
Quote unquote.
Yes.
America's team. And then you have Houston minus 7.5 as the favorite. So, Alnoor, let me throw it to you first.
I'll get it started right away. Mr. Third Player, we got Craig Worlstand.
Yep.
This guy, again, doesn't like home teams. Home teams are 63 and 63, so they're even on the money line.
Yeah.
They're 51-73 against the spread since 2016. Now, let's not forget, if a home team is an underdog, they are 36-1 against the spread since 2016, and they're 3-1 since 2023. Listen, Houston came out with the game last week playing against Detroit. They came out firing all cylinders. And this is without Stephon Diggs was injured, without Nico Collins, and it was just Joe Mixon and Tank Dell and Schultz, and that's all they had out there. It wasn't a lot. But the second half, they didn't put up no points.
Nope.
So you're coming off with 2 quarters, 0 points, going to Dallas, which is a close by to you. It's rivalry within the state. And you're just driving a couple hours, going to go play. I think Houston's going to come out, like how you said with Kansas City, to show, hey, listen, we did score points in the first half, but that loss was because our offense didn't prove a point.
Yeah.
And CJ Stroud has something to prove.
Yes.
Now, if listeners here that don't know, beginning of the season, CJ Stroud and Parsons had a sit-down. They talked about it. Parsons says that he is a dog, that he is a killer. He will come out and he will hunt CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud replied, "You are sitting beside a dog," which is he's proving that he's going to come out and put on a show.
Yeah.
As we know, Dallas Cowboys injured. I said earlier in our podcast too, a few weeks ago, if Dallas does not cover that spread when we had it, fade Dallas. I'm sticking by my word. I'm fading Dallas. This spread could have been minus 21 Houston. I would have taken Houston minus 21.
Yeah.
Dallas, I do not like them at all right now. They don't know what they're doing. CeeDee Lamb might not even play. He's questionable.
Yeah.
But he's going to go play. Rush is there too. I think he might get a little bit of Lance, but this team just doesn't know what direction they're going into. What's happening there? Aside from stats, aside from everything else, Houston 8 points. I think Houston wins by more than 10 points, more than 2 possessions.
Yeah.
Like straight up minus 7.5 Monday night. Plus remember last week too, Monday night it was Miami LA.
Yeah.
The dog covered last week.
Yeah.
I don't see 2 dogs covering back to back. Not aside from the win, I don't see 2 dogs covering back to back. Mr. Third player in there too.
Yeah.
Loves the dog. Road teams. Give me Houston minus 7.5 straight up. Like done.
I mean,
and you have Nico Collins coming back.
You do have Nico Collins, yeah.
So you have Nico Collins coming back where now who do you double team? Who's covering who's doing what? Like Houston minus 7.5. Irshad, tell them what you like.
You know what? I don't disagree with anything you said. I don't discount the fact that, Dallas is battered.
Yeah.
They definitely have problems. Mike McCarthy's definitely on the chopping block.
Oh, he's done.
Like for sure. After the season he's done. Yeah, 100%.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets fired after this week.
Yeah, actually, right? You have Dak, he's gone. CeeDee Lamb is nursing an injury. There's definitely a lot of problems that are happening. I don't discount it. And to add insult to injury, the home underdogs are not favored to cover the spread when
hasn't won a home game yet.
When Craig Warslad is betting. And I get it.
Yeah.
100%. Like they have not won. Quite literally, they suck.
Yeah.
They suck. Quite literally, they suck. But...
Ooh, there's a big capital B-U-T. All right, yes.
And I do think Texans are going to win.
Yes.
I'm going to get that out of the way. I think they're going to win. But it's not about winning or losing here.
Yes,
it's a spread. So how I look at it is this way. Texans are, so Texans are a great team. Okay,
yes.
let's get it out of the way, right? However, Texans are 1-9 against the spread.
Yes.
In the second half. Okay, which is the worst in the NFL.
Correct.
Okay, so they definitely don't bode too well after the first 30 minutes. They are 1-9 against the spread in the third quarter, the worst as well.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at it from the perspective of teams coming off a home loss in prime time, they're just 14-37 when playing in prime time the following week. And this particular statistic goes back almost 14 years, back to 2010.
Correct.
Okay, so they're 14-37. So that essentially means they're almost 2.5 times more likely to lose. Now, I don't believe they're gonna lose. Like I'll say it again, I don't believe they're gonna lose because Cowboys also have the worst points per game differential. Right now, the points per game differential at home is about 23.5, which is pretty horrendous.
Yes.
Okay. But we know Cooper Rush is coming back.
Yeah.
There is no more, hey, is Dak going to do this? Is Dak going to do that?
Yeah.
And I think this is where things get kind of interesting. You have Cooper Rush coming in. He entered his last week at 5-1 against the spread.
Correct.
Okay. Obviously, last week wasn't too great.
Yeah.
Only 45 yards. But he's going to have a bounce back game. Okay? This is something where it is going to be a little interesting because they are actually underdogs by more than one touchdown, which is pretty horrendous in my opinion. But CJ Stroud as well is not that great at night. So he is 1-3 against the spread at night with the Texans. So they both CJ Stroud as a person, but also the Texans franchise as a whole, they're not doing too hot. So this year they're 1-2 against the spread, and since 2003 the 13-30-1. So almost twice as likely not to cover the spread. Now, this is what's becoming interesting. Stroud, helming and quarterbacking the offense, he's 8-4 as an underdog against the spread. But here's the thing, he's not an underdog. He's a favorite. And as a favorite, he's 5-10 against the spread. So what I'm thinking is, yes, Dallas is bad, but I think Stroud's record is even worse. And I think this is going to come pretty controversial. I think the stability that the Cowboys are now seeing, knowing that, hey, it's just Cooper Rush, it's just this quarterback, Dak is not going to choke. Like, when you put Cooper Rush in there, you're not expecting anything magical to happen.
Of course.
Right? So what happens is, and this is how I look at it, is you have the offensive coordinator actually thinking and being creative on different plans. If Cooper Rush has 1 or 2 bad drives or 1 or 2 bad passes, this isn't Dak where you're like, hey, Dak, make something happen.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush can't throw? Cool. Give it to Zeke. Give it to Rico. Change it up a little bit. So the offense will keep changing, which means their defense have to keep adapting.
For sure.
On top of that, the Cowboys defense will have to now say, okay, you know what? Our offense is going to be shoddy at best. How can now we do our best to offset that? So the defense is going to be on all fire.
Sure.
Okay? So I think you're going to have elements of the game that are going to forcefully evolve that don't involve Dak Prescott. Because here's the reality. This goes for any sport.
Yeah.
If you have a broken play in the 07-08 Lakers, who do you give the ball to?
You superstar.
Kobe. You figure it out, Kobe.
Go do your thing.
Right? Kobe. Right. When LeBron took his talents to South Beach, if it was a broken play, LeBron just take it.
Exactly.
Dwayne Wade just take it. You're going to give it to a superstar, right? So when there's a broken play with Kansas City, Mahomes will do it.
Yeah.
Brady will do it. Right? Gronk will do it. You give it to your big name. That's exactly what we're seeing here. When something breaks, Dak Prescott, Dak, you do it.
Yeah.
Now, no Dak.
Yeah.
Injured CD. Questionable running game.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Turn to the defense.
You got to turn to the defense. They're going to turn the pressure up.
Yep.
Your offense will have to be more versatile.
Yeah.
You have to change it up. So, I think that on Monday, we're going to see a bit of a surprise. I don't think they're going to win. If they do, hey, that's a surprise for everybody.
Correct.
But I do think that they're going to cover. And I think they're going to cover so much so on the back of Cooper Rush, solely because it's versatile. And Cooper Rush now has had a week and change to otherwise improve and get into that, knowing that he's the undisputed quarterback going into it.
I hear you.
Dak's not there. So I'm going to roll it. And as much as I don't like this team at all, I think Mike McCarthy is fired. I'm going to go Dallas Cowboys plus 7.5 for Monday.
All right.
So
that's a big call there. But hey,
there you go.
We're going to have to wait till Monday to see that one.
That's it.
So there you guys have it. I, Alnoor, am taking Houston minus 7.5. My brother's taking Dallas plus 7.5, which ends our games of the week. Which I think for the first time, there are 2 games that we're going against each other, and there's 1 game of the week that we are riding together.
Yeah, we are.
Usually it's either 1 game we're against and 2 we're together, or all 3 we're together. But this is the first week where 2 games we are against each other.
This almost brings it back to like our NBA playoff days.
Yeah, 100% it does.
Yeah.
But there you go. Those are our game of the weeks. But let's get on to the more fun part of football.
There we go.
The prop side of it.
I like the prop side.
Who doesn't like prop side?
So let's get it started with Anytime TD.
Let's get it started.
So this one,
we rode with this last week.
we did.
We thought it was going to come last week. But listen, hey, you got to, second chances.
And you got to shake off the rust after being injured for that long.
For sure. And now you're playing a divisional team
At home.
Like, what more, like, how sweeter can it get?
Exactly. And I think at 1.44 times your money, it's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah. What do we have here, Irshad?
We have anytime touchdown
CMC.
from CMC.
Mr. Christian McCaffrey.
So lock it in, either rushing, receiving from Purdy, whatever the case is. He's coming
Kick
back
return, whatever you gotta do. He's Mr. Everything. So
he's getting a touchdown tomorrow.
he's hungry for one. He needs to
Yeah.
show fantasy owners who drafted him first overall.
Yep.
Because he just came back after 10 weeks.
Yep.
And now he's here. He's fighting to pay. Like I like it. I love it.
Lock it in. C-Mac 1.44 anytime TD.
There we go. Usually we save this for last, but I think we're gonna go ahead and go early with this one.
That's how confident we are.
We'll go 3-leg parlay first, and then we'll hit up with the fantasy.
Done and done.
But let's start with the 3-leg parlay. Usually we have a similar parlay of like certain picks of passing touchdowns. We follow a trend, but this week we have a little different. We added a whole bunch of different props, money line, games all together. 3-leg. I'm gonna start off with the first one.
Yep.
Minnesota Vikings money line.
Yep.
Justin Jefferson had a bad game last week. The Vikings only kicked field goals, didn't score a touchdown.
Yep.
You're going up against a Tennessee team who doesn't know, again, like the Dallas Cowboys, don't know what's going on with them. 1.38, first window, Minnesota money line. Second leg, Irshad, tell them.
We got Kyrie Williams anytime TD.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a game tomorrow, the Rams against the Patriots. Patriots arguably have one of the worst rushing defenses in the league. Kyrie Williams has had a history of scoring on average of almost 1 touchdown per game, but he was kind of shut down last week.
Fumble the football too.
I mean, low ball security. We imagine he's going to come back stronger, more secure. Lock it in. Kyrie Williams anytime touchdown. And then our last one.
This is a fun one. So we got the Jacksonville Jaguars versus Detroit Lions. We saw Monday night last week, or Sunday night, sorry, the game last week where Jared Goff just didn't know how to throw the football.
Yeah.
This week it changes. I don't think he's throwing a pick. I think he's going to show the NFL and everybody else that, hey, listen, I am the quarterback of this team.
Yep.
I am going to take this team to the promised land, and the team is going to be on my back, and I am throwing the football, and I am throwing touchdowns.
Agreed.
I am Mr. Touchdown Thrower. We have Jared Goff throwing for 2 touchdowns tomorrow.
2.
Not 1, 2. 2
2.
touchdowns tomorrow, which is easy. I see a check down to Gibbs. The little check down to Gibbs. Gibbs is running.
Amon-Ra.
Ra's second one. Sam Laporta healthy. You have him too. Like you have so many options. And let's not forget, the Detroit Lions are a team of trickery.
Yeah.
So you may see a little lateral here and there. Jared Goff getting the ball back. He might even start with the snap. You're gonna see a lot of trick plays. Jared Goff 2 touchdowns. Like we love it. 1.76 times your unit. Lock it in. And you know what's really funny, Irshad? This whole 3-leg parlay we have is all in the first window.
It's amazing. And I mean, for a solid 3.67 times your unit, that's huge.
You could take all of that and flip it for 4 o'clock games.
So there you go. I mean, lock that in. That's pretty solid. I mean, you have a parlay that is very confident, very solid, all for the first window. Gives you ample time, ample cash to keep rolling and enjoy the rest of week 11.
There we go. So lock those in, guys. 3-game parlay, which now leads us to fantasy.
All right.
We did good on Thursday.
We did.
Let's keep it rolling.
Let's do it. So, with our quarterback, we're anticipating Purdy
Yes.
having a good game. Divisional matchup at home.
CMC's back.
For second game. Rust is off now. Purdy's going to capitalize.
Exactly. Beautiful. We got our wide receivers now. We'll go
Running
wide
back. Wide
receivers. We'll go wide receiver. Irshad, you talk about running backs. I'll go wide receiver here.
All right, so running back,
Tell
we
them.
got Brees Hall.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jets are visiting one of the worst rushing defenses.
Yes.
Brees Hall hasn't been having a great season, hasn't having the worst season
The Jets, particularly, haven't had a good season.
as a team. And so I think Brees is going to come out and put the team on his back a little bit. So Brees Hall as the first running back. Second, we have the Houston Texans with the Cowboys. Joe Mixon.
Cowboys are the worst rushing defense in the league.
Worst rushing defense. Houston going down to Dallas is literally like playing at home. I mean, for lack of better words.
They're playing at home.
They're playing at home. It's in Texas. I mean, a couple-hour drive, sure. But Joe Mixon's going to definitely have to carry the workload here. I mean, especially if they get into a lead early.
Yeah.
It's going to be Mixon running out the clock, and he's going to pick some good yardage there. So lock that in. Brees and Mixon. Who do we have for wide receiver?
Wide receivers, we have bounce back again. We got Justin Jefferson,
Yep.
who last week the team didn't score a touchdown.
No.
And he's Mr. Touchdown. He's Mr. Money.
Yep.
Sam Darnold is going to find Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be surprised if he does what Saquon did on Thursday, 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
I don't see it. I do see it. Justin Jefferson's going to have a hell of a game. against the Tennessee Titans. He's gonna walk all over them.
Yeah.
He's gonna eat. And then our second wide receiver we have is
Amon-Ra
St. Brown. Like our parlay, we got Jared Goff throwing 2 touchdowns. Amon-Ra is catching one. Even though last week too, we saw it on Sunday night. He was a no-show. He was there for third down, and then he just exploded. So Amon-Ra St. Brown is gonna have a hell of a game. Him and Justin Jefferson. We might even on the side if we really want to. Just throw it out there. Both of them score 2 touchdowns. I'm just saying. Don't know the odds. Throw it out there. But let's go tight end after that. Irshad, tell him who's our tight end.
Tight end is going to be taking it back to Bills Mafia. We have Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
We imagine that Mahomes is going to be resorting to Kelce as a good check down option, as a good slot option.
Yeah.
Various options, because if you have DeAndre rolling out the deep threat, you got to have someone strong and consistent holding it down. So Kelce's going to be that go-to target. And I mean, it kind of helps that his girlfriend is literally just 2 hours away here in Toronto.
Exactly.
So it might actually have some off effect here too. And lastly, we have second last. So we have defense.
Defense. Listen, my brother here, it's a Monday night game. My brother has Dallas covering the spread here, but he feels like Houston's going to win the game. But we know Dallas is a team that doesn't know what they're doing. We got Houston Texans defense.
Clamp that down.
We think the Texans are going to come out. Cooper Rush, they're going to blitz them. They're going to make him throw the football because we know Dallas cannot run the football as of now. Texas defense is going to come out. And they showed what they could do last week. They got to Jared Goff. I don't know what they did, what voodoo they did on him. He wasn't able to throw the football. Does Cooper Rush not know how to throw the football this week? Tune in to find out. But Texas defense, we're rocking with them.
100%. And then our last kicker, or our last player is the kicker. We have McPherson.
Ooh.
It's going to be an interesting game because we imagine that it's going to be a back and forth.
Yeah.
It's, -1.5 is the spread for Chargers.
Yeah.
So we imagine it to be a kicking game. It's going to come down to a lot of kicks. Defenses are, on the higher end. We think the Chargers defense is going to clamp them down a little bit. Respectfully, they're in the top 10 for everything. So, and the least amount of points. So McPherson's going to come up and, have to
give some points, keep
give
winning the game. Exactly.
That's the reality of it. So there it is. You heard it here. Purdy, Brees Hall, Mixon, JJ, Amon-Ra, Kelce, Texans, and McPherson.
There we go. There you have it, Abe Squad. We got our whole segment for Sunday. We're ready. We'll just give you a recap again, too. We got 3 games of the week. Baltimore, Pittsburgh. Me and my brother are going against each other. I got Baltimore -3. My brother got Pittsburgh +3. Hoping for the push. Second game, we got KC Buffalo. We're both riding KC. You can't go against Patty Mahomes, +1.5. Last game, we got Monday night, Houston, Dallas. My brother got Dallas Cowboys +7.5. I myself got Houston -7.5, which leads us to anytime TD. C-Mac running that in to find the dirt, find the paint. He's going to go in. Irshad, tell him our 3-leg parlay.
And our parlay, we got Minnesota money line. We have Kyron Williams anytime TD and Jared Goff throwing for 2 or more touchdowns.
There you go, Abe Squad. Lock it in. Have fun with us. Get your popcorn ready. Let's eat. Starting off at 1 o'clock. Our parlay is going to eat after 1. We're going to flip that into KC at 4, which we're going to flip that to Monday night, which we have to wait. I think this is going to be a really good Week 11.
Good Week 11. We are going into almost wild card season. So every game counts.
Yes.
Every game's important. So definitely tune in because we're going to be in front of Red Zone all day.
Yeah, we're going to be in front watching and just doing our thing. And I hope you guys are too.
That's it.
But before we sign off here, we just want to say thank you for all your listeners. We appreciate you guys. Bet what you can afford. Enjoy responsibly gambling. Get your popcorn ready. Get your favorite snacks ready. Your drinks ready. Whatever you do, get your family, friends to watch it. Because tomorrow is going to be an amazing day.
Yep.
But from Abe Sports here to all our Abe Squad out there, we love you guys. Thank you for listening. We out.
Peace.
Peace.